Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Legacy of the Rimlen. Last time we went kind of from bad to worse. You guys escaped drowning, and now you're being attacked by a magical woman, as it happens. But before we go into the events themselves, let's have our players, as usual, introduce themselves and their characters. I rolled some dice in the background. The dice have decided that Ashen should go ahead first and introduce herself and her character. Can you please go ahead, Ashen?
Yep, you bet. I'm Ash, and I'm playing as Illona. She had a very hard time last episode, so right now she's basically tired, wet, and confused.
Not so much wet, because it's hot summer. You've had time to dry out. All good.
Awesome.
But thank you very much, Ashen. Next, we would have Show&Tell. Can you please go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, hi, I'm Show&Tell. I'll be playing as Anghel, who's a mute peasant boy who apparently angered, besides angering a god, he also angered something, an entity of some kind, and he's being choked to death right now. Yay!
Is there a non-deity mythological thing you guys have met that things have not turned hostile with? I'm not sure.
I mean, I think of the Mother of the Forest. She killed a lot of people, but we didn't really engage with her, though.
Yeah. You were on neutral terms with her, I suppose.
Thanks to Miko. Oh, Miko.
Right.
Missing you, Miku.
Well, we'll see. Maybe, no, mythology can be scary. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, let's see what who someone else is rather, I guess, as I'll have them introduce themselves. Dely, can you please go ahead and talk about yourself and your character?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. I am playing Muninn, and my name is Dely. So Muninn is a traveling scholar. They love keeping secrets. They love learning things, and yeah, that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, last time, as I briefly mentioned in the intro, our heroes managed to escape getting drowned by another angry mythological creature, this time a deity. And while recovering and moving to get their horse back, etc., they discovered that the people who they were traveling with, a certain very politically important boyar, had in his hand our party's magical ball. Sorry, I couldn't resist making that joke. Anyway, the boyar handed it back, but TLDR, now he knows about it. He said that some weird woman spoke in his mind and told him about it, which is probably a little bit concerning. And you guys also had some inter-party tension, for lack of a better term, as Anghel realized that he was not on purpose, sort of left out of some of the conversation, between Illona and Muninn regarding the mythological creatures, etc., etc. Above board, there's also another piece of information that I don't think they've told Anghel regarding Joseph's will. Not Joseph's will, Miron's will, and that involves Joseph. Anyway, as you guys continue to travel, you decide to take a rest. Frankly, Illona needed it. And while resting, because of the various inter-party tensions, you guys stayed mostly separate. And someone attacked Anghel and started choking him from behind. Above board, the scantily clad woman who tried to dance with him at the party last night. Unfortunately, Anghel saw her, so that means he must die, because of course it does. In the last we left off, as this woman was choking the life out of Anghel, Anghel managed to kicking and scrambling, wake up Illona. And that's sort of the exact spot we left off. Now, I suppose before... Well, first things first, I should turn on the background music. But before we actually go into the actual fight, one of our players' birthdays will be coming up fairly soon. After this episode will be released, but not too long after. So, happy birthday, Show and Tell. Hope you have a good one.
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday for them.
And as is tradition, you get 2 charges of birthday inspiration, which are advantages that you can use in any way you'd like.
Yay, best presents ever.
And I've left them under your little character box on screen. Otherwise, as to like the actual sort of mechanics of the fight, currently it's Anghel and probably Illona against this woman above board that is called a Yella. And, well, you guys can obviously fight her, engage her in the typical manner, but you also have the option of using your turn instead of fighting her or doing anything else to try to get the attention of Muninn or the 2 NPCs you guys are traveling with, or I guess whoever else happens to be nearby. But you'd have to like skip your turn to get those other people's attention. Make sense?
Yes.
And keyword try to get those people's attention.
Yeah.
Just as an example, you if you remember last time, Anghel initially failed his role to wake up Illona and had to spend fate points to actually wake her up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just as an example. We are going to start a new round of combat because we like left off at the end of the previous round. So we're going to start with the Yella. But before we go into the actual fight itself, to briefly set the scene, Anghel and Illona, you were resting next to each other. Illona was asleep. If I'm not mistaken, next to a tree. You're a bit farther off from the rest of your party. Illona, you were fully passed out. You were exhausted, understandably. And Anghel, suddenly a woman, the familiar woman came up, began with a joke of guess who, and then started choking the life out of you. And in your panic, as you were kicking around, you managed to kick Illona awake. And Illona, last we left off, you saw what was happening to Anghel. Above all, what you see is a pair of feminine hands choking Anghel from behind. Last session you said, oh yeah, Illona's down to fight. Above board, you can change your mind, it's your character. But before we resume the combat, let's briefly see, I don't know, any RP thoughts, reactions, what's going on for Illona and Anghel's minds, and Muninn's, I suppose, even though Muninn is unaware of the situation. Like, I think it might help contextualize any future roles as well, to see what Muninn is up to, keeping in mind that Muninn is unaware of the situation.
Yeah.
Who do we start with?
It might make sense for you guys, obviously, to go first, because, I mean, Muninn's thoughts may be kind of uninteresting because they're separate from the action, you know.
Sure. And you don't have to go into detail. This is just like a brief description of what you guys are doing to like get further into the scene, if that makes sense.
Well, for Illona, if she's get like kicked awake, she is already pissed and down to strike like the first person she sees.
Which would be Anghel.
But like, I think since she like saw the hands try to strangle him, she would like shift her focus to that and try to get him off Anghel.
Okay.
But like, added extra like frustration and like anger because she was sleeping so good.
Understandable.
As for Anghel, I think, well, I don't know. What do you think when you're being shown? He's kind of desperate, I guess. I don't know.
I guess a good question would be, obviously I informed you guys above board on who this person is and that she has met Anghel before, or rather Anghel has met her before. But does that thought cross Angel's mind?
The fact that he knew her? That he...
Yeah, I mean, Anghel would know the voice and maybe the hands, I don't know, but in a desperate situation, I don't know if that's like what would be on his mind.
For some reason, I thought she said, "I'm going to kill you," but I guess that's just something that...
She said you really shouldn't have looked.
Yeah, that's why I thought, like, immediately I thought that he recognized that. I mean, but if he was choking at the time, yeah, maybe he... What? I mean, my natural thought was that he made the connection.
Makes sense.
You know, I mean, maybe as you were being choked, you're kind of... maybe he's having, like, an out-of-body experience a little. Something
Sure.
you're like, oh,
I
thinking
mean,
about stuff.
it was very sudden, like, between the Guess Who and Illona waking up, probably like 6 seconds have passed at most. If I had to guess.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
What about Dely? Not Dely, Muninn.
Well, it surprises me that Muninn hasn't like heard the commotion. But to be honest,
the woman whispered, Anghel can't talk, and you guys are a bit far away.
yeah, exactly. So honestly, like, Muninn is not up to much. They're like sort of resting at the moment. Kind of not sort of remorseful is a strong word, but like they are a bit annoyed with themselves that they kind of left. Obviously, the whole reason they were all arguing or had like a disconnect was because they left Anghel out a little bit of the conversation. So a little bit annoyed within themselves, but at the same time, like, yeah, just resting.
Sure thing. Understandable. All right. So, resuming with the combat order, it's the yellow's turn. From her viewpoint, I don't think she would see Illona, so she would just continue trying to choke the life out of Anghel. Anghel, how would you defend yourself?
Okay. Did he already try?
Wow, that is an awful roll. Please continue.
Okay.
Please continue with your line of thought.
Did he already try, loosening her grip or something?
He did and failed, but that doesn't mean he can't continue trying.
Wait, the roll was for what? Am I supposed to know or not?
She's trying to choke you more.
Oh, okay. So the 2 is for that. Oh, okay. So maybe have like a chance. No. Okay, let's.
Well, tell me what would you do, and then I'll tell you what to roll. All right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that trying to, loosen her grip again, like trying to.
That would be a forceful.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to spend one of my fate points to reroll my roll because that was a god awful roll.
Okay.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay, that's much better. How would you take 5 points of damage? Unless you want to improve your roll, obviously.
Oh no. Well. How many 5 points? Wow, that would be like the consequence.
You already have your level 4 consequence, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be 3 and a 2, I guess. That would be bad though. But I don't know if I can really hope for something.
Just as a reminder, maybe it will influence your decision. Well, actually, 2 reminders. First off, you can't take just stress. If you can't take, say, your level 3 and your level 2 stress. It has to be your level 3 stress and your level 2 consequence. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Second reminder, the more painful the consequence, the longer it will take for it to go away. So your level 4 will go away at the end of this session probably, or maybe sometime during the next session. If you take a level 6 consequence, you guys need to reach a major story point for it to go away.
Oh no. Oh no, yeah, I don't want that to happen. Wow. I have to do something then. Okay. I'll use.
You can also mitigate your roll. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you mean mitigate?
Like use fate points or advantages to improve it.
Yeah, exactly.
I misspoke. I apologize.
Okay. So. I wonder if I should just waste all my birthday inspiration on that. I feel like. Okay, wait. Let's see if I can use fate point first. I think I had the same kind of argument last time as well, right? About him being, Oh, but that was about Illona, I think. Actually. So I just really apply weight.
About being protective? I don't recall. I'm sorry.
No, not about being protective. About, I used the fate point then as well. But that was to kick Illona, not actually to...
Okay.
To wake Illona.
Oh yeah, the aspect used to improve your roll on kicking Illona was your final one, the fact that you are anxious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But obviously, any aspect you choose, I'd like you to justify it to me, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, wait, what am I trying to do to force your hands from me? Okay, I have an interesting thought. Is the fact that his sister is kidnapped and he wants to see her again means that he's going to fight for his life even more desperately?
Funnily enough, you're not the first person to make an argument of that kind to me. Something very similar happened in the other campaign, and my verdict then was I will allow it, and in this case I will also allow it.
Yay!
It can be sort of an anime moment, like I can't die here, not until I save my sister.
Yeah.
Exactly the vibe I was going for.
That's pretty
okay. But I wonder if I should reroll or add 2, it would be a 3 stress.
If above board, if you mouse over the number you got, the 2, it will tell you what your dice were. In this case, apparently you got 2 minuses and a plus, evening out to 1 minus.
Okay. I mean, it's not it's less than the average. Okay, let's try again. Let's just reroll.
Okay. Please reroll.
I will regret it. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
It's better.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
It is the same outcome.
Although it's the same.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Right, it's better. That's for sure. Yeah, I guess I'll take that as a stress. Number 3.
Sure. Okay. That was the yellow's turn. Basil, the boyar's son, is unaware of the situation, and I guess his action would depend on how close are you to him and his father, Muninn.
I'm not sure. Not very. No, not very close. I think Muninn was on their own. I don't think they would have been very close at all.
Above board, ever since your whole talk about orbs and all that, both the son and the father have been very suspicious of you, so the son is just staring at you, not menacingly, but warily, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. Don't blame him.
So they will spend their turns staring. Illona and Muninn, it's your turns, but Muninn is unaware of the situation, so...
Yeah, Illona should definitely go first.
Right.
Also, a reminder that you can use your turn instead of the usual actions to try to get someone else's attention.
Yeah.
I think, like, how bad does it look? How does Anghel look, and like how? I think her action would depend on like how bad it looks.
Well, I'm not going to require a roll from you because you can see Show&Tell's character sheet. All players can see each other's character sheets. One of the consequences this pair of arms, in your viewpoint, inflicted on Anghel was painful bruises, and you can basically see that Anghel's being choked with an absurd amount of strength, like leaving the skin white where he's being choked, if that makes sense.
Okay, so then I don't think Illona would like hesitate to jump in, and I think she wouldn't like try to pry the hands off. Instead, she would like grab a dagger, and if it makes sense, like try to slash the wrist from behind, like reach over, like behind Anghel's head, kinda.
Okay. Sounds like a careful or quick attack, but I will say, based on your description, that if you fail very badly, you will injure Anghel instead.
Okay, good to know.
Risky.
I guess I always have fate points in that case, but
above board failing very badly, I think would be like 3 minuses, like either the worst roll or the second worst roll, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you said either quick or careful, right?
Based on the way you're describing it, yeah.
All right.
Not
3.
bad. Let me roll to see how this lady defends herself.
Oh yay.
Because she succeeds with style, meaning she'll get an advantage.
Can I use a fate point though to like add to?
Of course you can. Just keeping in mind that if you improve your roll by 2, what will happen is she will not gain an advantage, but you won't inflict damage. Up to you. It's up to you if you'd like to use it or not. I'm just informing you of what it would mean, okay?
Yeah, I think I'll do it still.
What are you invoking?
I think Master of Escape. She's trying to like maybe that didn't like work, but get Anghel to escape, I guess, from her grasps.
Sure. I was sort of thinking this as the weird equivalent of cutting a rope, I guess, but sure. And you're using it to improve your roll by 2 or to reroll?
By 2.
Okay. So you improve your roll by 2, meaning nothing happens. In terms of narrative, you probably slash with your dagger, and at the last moment you hear the woman let out a yelp in surprise. She clearly didn't expect Illona to act, but she manages to pull her arm to the side slightly in time, still maintaining a chokehold on Anghel. She's very, very strong, but she moves her hand to the side, evading your dagger. Okay.
Illona would like scream, like, since I think you can talk either how.
You can talk, but
scream for her
you can
to, like, go.
Okay, you can talk, but just the above board, getting people's attention will still require an actual turn. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I would just scream, "Let go."
You get the hell away. He's mine.
He's not yours. What the fuck?
He saw me. He cannot live.
Illona would be like really confused at that. She wouldn't respond.
Muninn's turn, keeping in mind that they're unaware of the situation. Like, all that's happening from Muninn's perspective, other than their own gloomy thoughts, is the Boyar's son staring at them and the Boyar just nodding off.
Can Muninn generate a rested advantage by resting?
Not by resting, because technically, like, in classic Dungeons & Dragons, a round of combat is only 6 seconds, so there's not really much rest you can take in 6 seconds, but you can generate an advantage in other ways.
In other ways, did you say?
Yep. So not by resting, because you can't really rest much in 6 seconds or around that time frame, but you can create an advantage for something else by doing something else, etc.
Okay. It's difficult because obviously because they're not in the combat situation, there's not a lot that they would.
Yeah.
There's not a lot they would do. Maybe they would. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, oh, I tell you what, could maybe not. Maybe this is against the rules, but like, could Muninn spend this turn, like, skip their turn in order to give someone else an advantage on their turn? Maybe. Or, again, I'm not sure how that would work. But...
Not quite, but like, you can do something that would achieve the same thing, but not in the way you describe it. You can create an advantage that you can then allow someone else to use.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But skipping your turn to give someone else an advantage doesn't quite work. You can use your turn to say, I assist this person, but you can't really assist Anghel and Illona.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Can I ask something? Like, hypothetically, can Muninn just decide, I want to talk to Anghel and kind of, and find out on his own without his attention being drawn? Like, that would be, I don't know.
Sure, but just for the sake of being even, I'd require, and that's Muninn's decision, to give me probably like a careful roll, and if they beat, say, a 3, I think they would think, I really should talk to Anghel again. If they don't beat a 3, they might think, I'm not really in the mood.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that would take up their turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't mind doing that. It seems to make sense. Because the thing is, I'm not really sure what I'd do or what Muninn would do to create an advantage, other than, like, I don't know, maybe sharpening their dagger, but I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, so I'd have to roll the careful for this. Okay.
Yeah. You start thinking to yourself, maybe I really should apologize to Anghel and try to make things right.
Okay. Lovely. So, gameplay-wise...
Gameplay-wise, you are able to head in that direction, but it will probably take you, because you're not rushing there, because you don't know there's danger, it'll probably take you an extra turn to get there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Unless Anghel or Illona make you understand that, hey, stuff's going on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All the while, the sun continues eyeing you warily from a distance. Okay. Angel's turn.
Oh wow, okay. Okay, can he try to... Everything I can think of is forceful. But I guess
It is your best stat.
right. Too bad I'm not protecting anyone. Okay. So, I guess I can... I don't know if he can do it, but can Angel try to, like, headbutt her?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. You're trying to attack her, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a forceful.
Oh god, please. What the hell?
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
With that big of a difference, she notices you moving back, like amping for the headbutt, and what she does is headbutt you instead, making you dizzy. She gets an advantage because of the massive difference she succeeded with.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I won't waste my fate points for now on this. Because I feel like I need them on this. Okay.
I'll call her advantage vicious vengeance, because in her mind, what she's doing is vengeance.
Okay, woman, okay.
Her turn. I think she will attempt to slam your head into the tree.
Ooh.
Oh my god, like, he's already dizzy and choking.
How do you defend yourself?
I'm trying to, like, picture it. They're, like, standing next to the tree and she's just, slamming his head into it, basically.
Yeah. I will mention just for context that she, for the moment, cannot be fully seen by Illona. Illona only sees her arms. Just for scenic context, not necessarily for, gameplay.
Right.
Okay, how do I stop this? I guess Anghel shoves against the tree, before his head can hit it or something.
Sure, sounds careful or forceful, which is the same number.
Yeah, it is. Different. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll go with careful. Maybe it will be better luck.
Sure. How do you take 2 points of damage? You didn't get a bad roll, she's just stronger than you.
Yeah, she is. What the hell? Wow, 2 points. Okay, we'll go with this 2 stress, I guess.
But I think she'll also use a level 4 consequence to deal 4 damage.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh.
She's very, very petty.
Oh my god, she's annoying me. What are we doing? Okay, okay. I'll have to use something. Okay. Can I use the same
It is
argument I used last time?
Yep, it is a different roll, so yeah, you can use the same argument and the same aspect.
Yay, okay. Let's do that.
Okay, and you're using it to reroll or to improve your roll?
I guess improve. So it would just be like a 2 again, right?
Yep.
Okay, so distress.
Okay, and as she begins violently slamming Angel's head into the tree, she yells at you. Oh, not yells. She says to Illona, "You're not from here, so you don't know. If you see me, you're dead too. He saw me, he cannot live." Your turn, Illona. And Muninn.
I think Illona would, like, be so utterly confused. She just tried to like help Anghel in any way she can. So like assisting him in whatever he does next.
So you're using your turn to give Anghel an assist?
Yeah.
Okay. Duly noted. Muninn, you will arrive on the scene the next round, but what are you doing while you're like casually walking over? Or like thinking about... Just
Yeah.
like, describe Muninn's process, if you will.
Well, blissfully unaware, I feel like Muninn would be contemplating how to approach Anghel in a way to like apologize. So like, I in my head I'm thinking like, oh, Muninn would like be sort of talking to themselves under their breath and sort of like I mean rehearsing like an apology perhaps. Like I'm sorry,
It's
Anghel,
okay.
like yeah, I'm sorry. No, that sounds bad, like stuff like that. But gameplay wise, I don't know, I feel like there's not really a lot they can do gameplay wise.
Sure.
Other than obviously like approach them and be closer.
Yeah. Understandable. Angel's turn.
Okay. Okay, so like he's getting an assist now, right?
Yep, meaning that you have a +1 on all your rolls and your defense until Illona's next turn.
Okay. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think, because obviously forceful isn't working for us. I mean, I don't know what else can. Maybe. Oh, I had a weird idea. Can he fake that he died? Just like fall. I don't know. Maybe that will take her off guard or something.
Sure. In terms of game mechanics, that sounds like you're trying to create a sneaky advantage. Would you agree with me?
Okay, yeah. Let's do it.
Well, before you roll, I think you have a stunt about something like that. Just let me check the wording, because I don't remember it. Okay, never mind. That stunt is a once precision thing. Yeah, do roll me your sneaky, please.
Is my like assist in this as well?
Yeah, in any of Angel's rolls.
Okay. Please, God.
With Illona's assist,
Why?
it's just enough to create the advantage.
Oh, yay. Yay.
With Illona's assist. So, Anghel falls limp. Illona, how do you assist Anghel in this deception? And also, while Illona describes it, Show&Tell, can you think of the name of the advantage you create?
All right.
No worries, Dely.
Playing possum.
Okay. Duly noted. So, again, Illona, how would you assist Anghel in playing dead, or at least selling the idea?
You killed him, you killed him.
Yeah, good idea. I
I
was like,
can't believe it.
I thought of like ways to say, but like, oh no! It's better to say you killed him and like scream that. It's way better.
Like, it's interesting to me if Illona knows that he's faking it.
You have like your tongue out, everything, selling nothing.
Oh my god.
I mean, based on how... actually, never mind. I was gonna say that because the yellow was so strong, maybe there started to be blood coming out, but you're probably not at that point quite yet. But still. Okay. I got the general idea of how you hope sell the message. The boy will skip their turn. The yellow's turn. I'm going to roll her careful to see if she realizes what is going on.
Please be strong but dumb.
Yeah, please, something.
Oh. No.
Undeterred, she slams Angel's head into the tree again. How does Anghel defend himself?
God. Wait. Oh, that's the roll?
Welcome back, Dely. The 7 is trying to determine if Angel is bullshitting. The 3 is her actual attack.
Okay. Okay, that's something I can defend against, I feel like. Oh shit, but then I'll like, okay. Yeah, she didn't bite. It's bullshit. Too fast.
If you'd like, because you did roll the advantage for that, you can spend your playing possum to, I guess, force me to reroll the careful.
Force you to? Oh, is that how it works?
Technically speaking, it's a rule that, like, exists in Fate Accelerated, but people don't use it very often, that you can also reduce the opponent's rolls with your advantages. But because it has the same mechanical effect as improving your own rolls 90% of the time, people don't generally use it. But in this situation, it would be different enough. I will allow you to, if you'd like, to use your advantage to force me to reroll.
Oh, to force you to reroll.
The careful. Or you can save it for anything else.
I don't know if that will... Like, if potentially she doesn't find out, then what will that mean? You know?
Good question. Good question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Like, I wonder, I mean, okay. Okay, fine, let's do it.
Okay. You're using your advantage to make me reroll. Okay. Let's see what happens, and we'll ignore the forceful attack. Funnily enough, 4 was the difficulty I had in mind, so it's just enough for her to notice.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So yeah, she will proceed with trying to slam your head into the wall. Let's roll her attack.
Oh, just a sec. Maybe I'm confused, but didn't she use the Vicious Vengeance already?
No, she did. She used your consequence. Your level 4 consequence.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I got confused. Okay.
Okay, she attacks you with a 4, trying to slam your head into the tree.
Oh shit! Now the force. Now her attack is higher.
Not by much.
Too much for that. Okay. I was thinking of something that I don't think that would work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he can do except, well...
Different doesn't always mean better, I suppose.
True. Can he try to, like, maybe catch her off guard again by... I don't know if that makes any sense, but can you, like, try to... Oh, but I'm defending it, right?
Well, you are defending, but we can work it into the narrative. I mean, for example, one way she defended herself before was by headbutting you. Not inflicting any damage, but it was a hostile action. So you can
Okay,
take...
so maybe...
Yeah, you can take hostile action against her and work it as part of your defense. It's just that it will not deal damage.
Okay, so can I, like, try to kick her... I mean, I could try to kick her in the stomach or something? I don't know.
Sounds forceful or sneaky as a defense.
We'll go with forceful, even though it's been letting us down. Oh, I mean, there's only so much.
You do have Illona assisting you.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Why is...
How do you take 1 point of damage?
Okay. Oh, I guess we'll take the 1 level stress, and then I'll have to really start worrying. Okay.
Sure. I'm gonna say that probably the reason you weren't able to kick her is because you're both sitting down on the ground. And you're facing away from her. So that's a bit awkward.
Yeah, I kind of imagine him kicking back, kind of, in a weird way. I don't know.
Well, you were unable to move your leg in time to prevent your head being slammed against the tree again. Illona and Muninn, you guys decide on who goes first. I will say Muninn, as you approach, you see probably from... Actually, give me a careful to see what you see without anyone telling you anything, okay?
Okay. Oh, nice.
You see Illona standing up, looking down at Anghel, clearly very alarmed. And Anghel appears almost like he's choking on something, and is he hitting himself? Or are those arms around him? That's what you see.
Okay.
Illona and Muninn, you guys decide who goes first, etc.
Okay.
I think it'd be interesting if you went first.
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah. Okay, well, upon seeing this, Muninn would obviously be very concerned. They would, as quick as they can, try and apprehend the situation and shout like what's going on?
You
know?
stay back, yells the Yella. An unfamiliar voice yells at you. You stay back.
Oh, that's not good. Well, upon hearing that, Muninn immediately
My business is with the boy.
That's not good at all. Muninn would try to spring into action and unsheath one of their daggers. So they would rush to the situation, but I mean, I don't know, as far as their distance goes, I don't know what they're able to do.
I think you can get into quote unquote melee range if you'd like.
Okay. As in that would be my turn, or I can do something within...
and you can do something.
Okay. Well, Muninn would rush within melee range, assuming maybe rushing past Illona, or I don't know. I'm not sure how people are positioned.
Yeah, you would rush past Illona. I would say, for narrative's sake, you rush past Illona and you see Angel's clearly being choked out by someone who looks very, very feminine. And when you approach, they very quickly duck their head behind Anghel and they yell out, "You moron, you can't look at me or you'll die too."
Okay, well...
Obviously that doesn't have to influence your actions.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's nicer to tell them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. No way.
Their excuse is that they're foreigners and they wouldn't know the story. Anghel, you have no excuse.
Yeah, sure. Well, Muninn would probably see this. Muninn probably wouldn't would think that's ridiculous, and regardless would try and maybe they wouldn't, because the woman's hands are like on Angel's neck, I imagine they wouldn't use their dagger. They would just try and like pry, because it would be quite dangerous to like it's too close. They would probably try and pry like the woman's hands off of Angel's neck.
I will say that up close you do see like the marks, like just her choking Anghel. Have like this person is clearly very strong. Just in case that affects your decision.
Okay. It would be very difficult to do that in that case.
I would ask. I'm not forbidding you from doing it. Obviously, I'm just curious. If you were to do that, would you use it as an advantage, assisting Anghel, an attack? Though I don't. I have you justify it a bit more for it to be an attack. You let me know if you do that.
Yeah, sure. I feel like Muninn would probably do it regardless, because like fight or flight, like they're not really thinking straight. They're just like, shit, Angel's in trouble. They'd probably use it maybe as an assist. I feel like that's like the safest option. So they'd probably try and assist Anghel in Muninn's turn.
Sure. And we'll count that as an assist. Just for narrative purposes, are you trying to look at this person who's choking Anghel, or are you just focused on removing the arms around his neck?
Yeah, more so focused on the arms. I don't think they would like particularly try and get a look. Like they think it's ridiculous what the woman just said, but they regardless wouldn't try and get a look anyway. They would just focus on releasing Anghel.
Bizarrely enough, you would be able to tell that this is a scantily clad woman.
Fair enough.
Illona's turn.
I think by now Illona's very like pissed off, and she doesn't really have her guard up so much anymore regarding like looking at her. So I think I'll actually use my stealth kill. I doubt that will kill her, but like just to see what it does.
But describe in narrative what you attempt to do.
Like it's me, right? And then it's Anghel, and then she's behind Anghel. Okay, so I would like do some roll over Anghel and try to like land behind her, choking her. If that makes sense.
Above board, it takes a long time to kill someone by choking. Is that what you want to do? Not saying you can't, obviously, just asking for narrative purposes.
I guess choking, but maybe so, like, more so also janking her away from Anghel. Like, really.
Well, if you're using your stunt, we have to focus on the kill or at least attempt to part.
Alright, yeah. Choking it is. The turntables.
Okay. Give me a sneaky attack and I'll give you a +4 bonus to your attack, okay? Okay, she takes 4 points of damage. I think it will be her level 4 consequence. Do you have a name for it?
I guess just tables have turned.
Duly noted. Okay, so you flip over Anghel and the lady, and also probably Muninn at this point too.
Wow.
She is way too stunned to realize what's going on as she looks at you with first surprise, then fear, then anger, and then you start choking her, and she would probably release her hold on Anghel.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that was both of your turns. Angel's turn.
Okay, he's released. Wow, okay. You breathe it. Okay, wait.
Your neck hurts a lot. You've never been... You've probably been in scuffles with like other village kids. This is the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Um,
In your action, whatever it may be, you do have an assist from Muninn.
Very cool. I wonder if I can make, well, like if there's a way to make an advantage that would, I don't know, someone protect his neck or something. I don't know. I don't. Wait. So what happened to her exactly? Like, what state is she in now?
What she
Like
was doing to you, Illona is doing to her.
Right. Oh, okay. So now she's being choked by.
Yeah, and she has let go of you.
Okay.
Just for narrative's sake, because Moon and you were like futzing around with her arms, are you holding on to her arms while this is happening, or?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe specifically, Muninn is trying to pry her fingers, like her hands, off of Anghel's neck.
Well, she's let go of Anghel. I'm asking, what do you do now that she's let go?
Right. Now that she's let go, maybe like Muninn wouldn't try and like, or maybe I don't know. Maybe Muninn would. Maybe Muninn would like keep hold of her like wrists, like trying to restrain her.
Sure. Above board, you're still assisting Anghel, but just to see narrative what you're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Show&Tell, going back to you.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I only have a slingshot. I'm trying to think of. Okay, maybe there's a rock nearby or something.
Sure.
And you can, I don't know, slam it into her stomach, maybe? Is that the only place that she's kind of,
I mean, you can aim for her head, her limbs, her stomach.
Right, her head. I'm kind of scared of hitting Illona, though.
Yeah, if you aim at the head, I would require, well, on a bad fail, you would hit Illona.
Yeah, that would be bad. So her stomach or something, I guess.
Sounds forceful to me.
Yeah.
She kicks your hand aside in her struggle with that roll.
Okay.
Okay. The boyar won't do anything. The yellow's turn. Keeping in mind that, like, she obviously tried to strike when Anghel was more or less alone. I think her priority at this point would be to secure like an avenue of escape. So, focusing on Illona, guess she tried to like shove you into the ground, attacking you, if that makes sense. Like sort of like push herself backwards and try to slam you into the ground, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I forgot one thing before I roll. I forgot that Muninn gave Anghel an advantage, so yeah, Anghel, you don't damage her, but with a tie, you do get one advantage. Do you have a name for it?
Yay.
I'll roll in the meantime while you think of it, okay?
Okay. Oh.
Meanwhile, Ashen, you can think and tell me how you would defend yourself, okay?
Okay. I would sneakily like follow her movements so it doesn't like hurt me as much as it like does that make sense? Like
not quite, but maybe I'm just misunderstanding.
Okay, so the way I'm understanding it is she's like shoving herself backwards. with me, right?
Trying to slam you into the ground. Like, you would obviously land into the ground and she would be mostly safe, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, like, with the movement, land as safely as possible. Like, have technique with it, I guess.
Okay, that sounds careful. As a careful defense.
Right. I'll take that. Oh, wow.
That's a very good roll. You do take 1 point of damage, but it was a very good roll.
Fair enough.
How do you take 1 point of damage?
Stress, please.
Sure. Show&Tell, have you thought of a name for your advantage?
I thought of it. I wanted to name it something like revenge or something, you know. But I don't know. I can think. I'm sorry.
If you want, I can call it revenge.
Like, because she was taking revenge against him, and now he's taking revenge against her. But I can think of anything super smart about that.
Sure. I mean, even though, like, in her mind, it's obvious that Anghel was in the wrong. Anghel, when you first encountered her, you had no fucking idea who she was because you failed the roll. So, in your mind, this woman jumped you out of nowhere twice.
Yeah, totally not fair.
Get a life, woman.
That was her turn. Basil on... Yeah, Basil on his turn. All of you will hear someone yell out in Romy, so only Illona and Muninn will understand. Oi, why is your horse glowing?
Oh. We know why.
But
I think Illona would like scream, "Come help us!"
Yeah.
above board, you have to use your actual turn to do that, if that's what you want to use your turn on. But
Oh, okay. I
But-
forgot for a second. I get it.
But he'll yell out, "What? You come help me!" That's his turn. Illona and Muninn, it's your guys' turns.
Okay.
Just for like context of what's going on, Muninn, probably unfortunately you now have a good view of this lady, as she succeeded in slamming Illona to the ground, but because of Illona's maneuvering didn't deal too much damage to Illona. So now she's on top of Illona, but both are facing upwards, and she's struggling furiously. Just for like the context of what's going on.
Okay. So the lady is on top of Illona? Just to confirm? Okay.
Yep, but not facing Illona, if that makes sense. They're both facing upwards.
I think that makes sense. Muninn. I mean, who wants? Ashen, do you want to go first, or like?
Feel free to if you wanna.
Okay. Well, I feel like Muninn would. Well, Muninn obviously would try and help out. They would probably like try and rush, the lady and like sort of like tackle her off of Illona. And like hopefully in the process, like I mean, if Muninn does that successfully, hopefully like Muninn can like rag her about a bit, like maybe on the ground, like to deal some damage.
So you're trying to force her off Illona as an attack, from the way you're describing it.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds forceful. Can you roll me a forceful attack?
Okay. Oh no.
No.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
You rush her and she kicks you in the stomach and you wince in pain.
Okay.
She gains an advantage.
Honestly, fair enough. I don't think that like I don't think there are enough aspects to like mitigate that. So yeah, fair enough.
That was your turn, Muninn. Illona's turn. It's always fun
I
when a
would-
roll. It's always fun when a roll winds up in the negatives because
Yeah.
I get to describe how you really screw up.
Yeah, it's funny to like imagine too. It's I can imagine like this lady sounds really strong as well. So like I mean
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. A
Mhm.
bookworm versus like some sort of like She-Hulk,
Not quite to that level, but sure.
Yeah.
Illona.
I would. I also like have my like elbow around her neck, I guess. I would also reach for my dagger with the other hand
Mhm.
and try to like stab her in the ribs.
Sounds careful, forceful. I can also see sneaky.
Yes, I was hoping for that. Woo!
Okay, she'll take 2 points of damage, her level 2 stress. Angel's turn. Show&Tell, can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It is your turn.
Wait. I missed what Illona did
Stabbed
just
her.
before. Stab her. Okay.
But she's still on top of Illona.
Uh-huh. Okay. Can it count as oh, okay, wait. I haven't really decided what to do yet. But is any attack against her can it count as like a defense of his friends at this point? Or
Depends how you word it and how you do it. Like, I would not count it if you're just like in a berserker rage, for instance. But if you're
in a what?
like if you're like blinded by rage, so to say, I would not count it.
Oh, okay.
So depends how you describe it, what Anghel does, etc., etc.
Okay. Like she just kicked Muninn?
Yeah, Muninn is wincing in pain at the moment.
Mhm. And okay, so God, I'm trying to think how I could. I mean, she's not exactly, putting anyone in danger at the moment. Oh, or maybe the fact that she hit Muninn.
She hit Muninn because Muninn was rushing her, to be fair. I mean, justifiably, but still.
Okay, maybe he can. Where did Illona stab her?
In the ribs.
In the ribs. Okay.
I would say that the cut didn't get that deep just because, like, 2 damage isn't a lot. But you did stab her, okay? Just for narrative's sake, you didn't, like, pierce any vital organs or anything.
Makes sense.
Okay, I'm thinking maybe, like, are her arms free?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Anghel can kind of, like, try to grab hold of her arms.
Okay.
Pretty much.
That sounds either like you're assisting someone or or creating a forceful advantage. Because you're not like trying to inflict damage, you're trying to restrain her. But I can also see it as an attack. I leave it up to you.
I mean, is trying to restrain her.
Sure. I mean, above board, like, if you guys defeat her, you don't have to kill her. You can restrain her. So, yeah, I can accept that. Are you attacking her? In terms of game mechanics?
Yeah. Forceful, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is a forceful, yes.
I mean, the fact that he's restraining her, does that count as kind of try? I'm really pushing it.
Not right now, just because the only hostile action she's taken in like the past 10 seconds has been in defense, if that makes sense. So not right now, but maybe later.
Okay. So I'll hope.
Okay. Give me a forceful, please.
Should be in the forceful.
You fail, but you don't fail very badly. Basically, you try to grab her arms, but you just fail. She's just too strong for you to get a firm hold on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The boyar will pass their turn. The yellow's turn. I think her priority at the moment has turned more to escape, at least for now. So, Illona, when you're stabbing her, are you also trying to hold her down, or are you just like stabbing almost wildly?
No, I still have my
Okay.
elbow around her neck. Pretty
Okay.
tightly.
Okay. Then she will try to elbow your skull in.
Oh, ouch.
Okay. Fair enough.
How do you defend yourself?
How do I defend myself? I try to dodge my head from her elbow.
Sounds quick or careful?
Yeah, let's go quick.
No.
How do you take 7 points of damage?
Oh, actually, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense to use fate points. I'm like, or maybe if I reroll, I'll reroll.
What are you invoking?
Master of Escape.
Okay, then please reroll.
Come on, come on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
6 points.
6 points of damage. Okay.
Oh my god.
That's a
As
lot.
much stress as possible and as little consequence as possible.
Well, that would be, I guess, your level 2 stress and level 4 consequence. It's the best way you can mitigate it with stress.
I'll take that.
Actually, yeah, the only option you would have would be either level 2 stress and 4 consequence or level 6 consequence, I think.
Definitely
Yeah,
not
makes
level
sense.
6.
But because she's a little bit desperate and she senses weakness, she will use one of her advantages to deal 8 damage.
Can I use somebody else's advantage?
Yeah, you can use mine.
How does Anghel being vengeful help you? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just asking you to justify it, please.
It's a good question. I guess.
Also, just as a ground rule, Show&Tell, you cannot pass your birthday inspiration to someone else.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that. Okay.
Unfortunately not.
I guess since Anghel really wants revenge on her, and so does Illona, you know? It's her friend, and we're not just gonna let her go that easy.
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'll take up your charge, so it's only 6 points of damage. So once again, the question: 2 stress and 4 consequence, or 6 consequence?
2 and 4, please.
Okay. Kind of the difference between taking more damage but in temporary hit points or less damage but in long-term hit points, I guess. Your level 4 consequence will be a very black eye, because that's what's happening.
Okay.
That was her turn. Basil on his turn will yell out, "Can you guys hear me?" In Romy.
Dude, get a clue.
Hey, get the hell over here, man.
You have to use your turns to do that.
Yeah, I know.
That's his turn. Illona and Muninn.
Okay.
Like, I honestly wonder if it would really help us if he comes over, you know?
Yeah.
Because maybe I would waste a turn on that, but...
It's to be fair, like, yeah, because we got, well, I don't know. We gotta get him, or like convince him to get him over here, and then he's got to come over here before like we do, like he can even do anything.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Above board, well, depending on what you would do, I think generally speaking, if you want to get Basil's attention, I would require a flashy roll difficulty 2 from Illona and Muninn, but probably difficulty 4 from Anghel, just because Angel's missing one big form of communication.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it would depend on what specifically you guys do. Anyway, Illona and Muninn.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? I feel like maybe because because the lady attacked you, Illona, did you want to go first to retaliate?
Sure. I think I'll try to like roll over, so I'm more like, you know, like how policemen like sit over you and like hold your arms back.
Mm-hmm.
I would go for that.
Sure. My first question would be, are you trying to create an advantage or an attack?
I think attack.
Sure. Then that sounds careful, quick, or forceful to me. I leave it up to you.
Right. Let's go with careful.
Okay, that is a very good roll. She'll take 1 point of damage for level 1 stress. So describe what happens, please.
Well, now she's on the ground and I'm like sitting over her and restricting her.
Okay. Makes sense. In a surprising burst of speed and agility, and a bit of strength as well, you flip the tables and suddenly you're on top of her. She lets out a yelp of surprise. Muninn's turn.
I'm not sure. Maybe Muninn would it sounds really brutal, but like maybe Muninn would try and like attack her while she's the lady while she's down to like incapacitate her. So like
Sure.
maybe I don't know, like punch her or something. I don't know. That
Let's
sounds brutal,
go!
You can
It's
try. You can try kicking. Up to you.
though. Yeah, like maybe kicking her or something. That sounds brutal though.
I mean,
but yeah.
she's not pulling any punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a
Okay.
give me a forceful attack the way you're describing it.
Okay.
Whoa, good. No, it's better than it was.
Okay, how do you fail horribly? You didn't get a bad roll, so you don't attack Illona. Instead, I think you move to kick, and she, in her flailing, instead pins your foot down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She gets another advantage, unless you want to spend fate points.
I would, but I don't think any of my aspects would help. So yeah, I feel like that's what would happen, if you know what I mean.
Angel's turn.
Okay. Mm, okay. I'm trying to imagine this again. So, like, she's face down on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm. Illona's on top of
With
her
Illona. With Illona.
in like a police chokehold thing, but she's
Yeah.
still capable of flailing her limbs, hence how she managed to pin Munin's foot.
Okay. Our lips. Okay. Ooh, okay, no. We don't have rope or anything like that, do we?
I do not believe so.
Too bad.
Unless, for whatever reason, Anghel decided to pick it up from his house. I don't know.
Because, you know?
Sorry? I didn't hear.
No, I was trying to come up with an excuse. Well, he was going out to save his sister. Maybe he thought a rope would help. I don't know.
Carve like handcuffs out of wood real quick.
Okay, fine. I don't know. What can I go do? Ugh.
Funny that, like, the physically weakest person is trying to pin her down. In terms of forcefuls, at least.
Yeah, that is funny. Oh my god. God, I can't think.
Of course, you can also, the other players can also offer you suggestions, etc. You guys can advise each other at any point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can be. I'm not sure if I can be very good in terms of suggestions, but
I would go for like either her arms or like her face. So like either kick her
Yeah.
in the face or just like
yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, I guess. Oh. So it kind of feels bad. Fine.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, I get you now. I guess. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Sounds
Just go
like,
with brute force. Yeah.
sounds like a forceful attack to me.
Okay. Okay, that is a bit of something. Ooh.
Okay. You would deal 2 points of damage to her. Yeah, that would be her level 2 stress. Do you have a name in mind for the level 2 stress?
2 consequence, you mean?
Consequence, my bad. Yeah, I misspoke. Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
Again, a level 2 consequence is some superficial damage that will go away fairly quickly, but is still impactful enough to affect the current situation. Make sense? It can be
Split
something.
lip.
Sure. Split lip
Split
works.
lip. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, now I can understand why she wouldn't want people to look at her. She needs to give her a reason.
Har har har. Okay. Yeah, you kick her in the head and split her lip, and she looks at you with absolute fury. Okay. Boyar will skip their turn. Her turn. I think, having grabbed hold of Munin's foot, I think she will try to throw Muninn at Illona as an attack against Illona.
Oh, ouch.
I thought like she had like his foot under the leg.
No, she blocked it with her hand, not her legs.
Alright.
How does Illona defend herself from Muninn being thrown at her?
Oh my god.
I just wanted to find.
Yeah, right.
Muninn will escape unscathed from that attack.
Like, it's kind of hard to dodge an entire human being.
Not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll try to do that then.
Sounds quick to me. How do you take 5 points of damage?
Oh wow.
Shit.
5 point. Oh, that's exactly like your 3 and your 2.
Of course, you can also opt for your 6, but that also has its disadvantages. Up to you.
I could not possibly use my stunt for this now.
Let me check the wording on your stunt, and I'll give you my verdict. Okay.
Alright.
Shift the blame, no. Kill, no. Sneak
That's
away, escape from any situation. Yeah, I think that's one of the rare once per session stunts that can be used defensively. So if you'd like, yeah, you can use your stunt. Do specify what situation you're escaping from. Specifically, Muninn being thrown at you or the encounter entirely. I leave it up to you.
Just Muninn being thrown at me. I just nah. I don't want to die to that.
Sure, but I think it would mean you would step off of her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yikes.
Fair enough.
But it would negate the roll and obviously the damage. Okay, that's your stunt. That was her turn, as she hasn't managed to get up just yet, but guys can see that she's in the process of doing that. Basil will skip his turn. Illona and Muninn, it's your turns. Muninn, how do you react to being thrown?
If Muninn doesn't have any choice, Muninn would be thrown. And try very quickly, where you act like nothing's happened. Muninn would try. Muninn would try very quickly to recover from obviously losing their balance from being thrown, and like a cat landing on their 2 feet.
Sure. Just this will not affect the combat in any way, but roll me a careful to see how you stick the landing.
Oh my goodness.
Well enough. Well enough. You do well enough.
Well enough. That's good. That's good. Okay.
You're not graceful, but you're not clumsy. You don't look like you've been injured.
Okay. That's good. Who wants to go first? As in, obviously, out of us two.
You can go. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, after being thrown and landing on their feet, they try to counteract the momentum of being thrown by pushing themselves off of the ground and hurling themselves towards the woman.
Okay.
With this time with this time with too many orc stuff.
Mhm.
This time with dagger in hand, and they would try to slice at the woman's
She's currently down on the ground still, just as a perspective thing.
Yeah. In that case they try and slash at the woman down downwards.
Sounds like a quick or a forceful attack. I leave it up to you.
Okay. I feel like Muninn would try and be quite quick with that. So I'll quickly. There we are. Not very good. Anyway.
Okay. She doesn't succeed by much. So probably what she does is she manages to spot you in time to sort of parry your blow with her hand, not like your knife, but rather your hand, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Could I use a fate point?
Of course.
So the aspect I'd be invoking is skilled with small daggers. I feel like that's perfect for this situation.
Nice.
Very well. Also, guys, keep in mind that you have her consequences that you can also use.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
She will spend a fate point to mitigate that attack.
Okay.
Just a question: how much stress did she use?
Her level 1 and her level 2.
Okay.
She still has her level 3 and her level 6 consequence.
Okay. So if I use another fate point, would that be her level 3? Would that affect her lowest level stress? Or would that not be enough?
I mean, any point of damage would require her at minimum to take her level 3 stress.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Well, if I could use a fate point, the aspect I would use has keen eyesight and sense of smell. So the way that I'd justify that is, so Muninn has, so obviously Munin's skilled with daggers. That's an aspect we've established, but they also have keen eyesight, so they'd probably notice any kind of resistance or defense very quickly and adjust to it very quickly. And I think the original roll was a quick as well, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I just realized I'm a complete moron. I should have re-rolled instead of improving my roll, but too late now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll use actually my last fate point. Why? Because at this point it's at 4. Sure, she'll take her level 3 stress. For Illona's turn, I think at this point she would like to concede the fight because she's one blow away from getting killed or whatever else. So let's negotiate on the terms of concession. What do you guys want that doesn't involve her getting killed?
Interesting. Well, this probably goes without saying. The first choice would be, the first thing that comes to mind for me would be obviously refrain from ever attacking Anghel again. But then maybe that doesn't go without saying.
And us.
Yeah, everyone.
And,
Everyone
yeah,
involved.
and us in general, yeah. Could we also ask? I mean, I don't know if you guys are interested. Well, I think it's obvious who she is. I was gonna say, oh, who is this woman? But then we kind of know her folklore, right?
Above board you do, in character you don't.
Oh, okay.
But this is just brain spawning, but could we ask her to join us? Put her get her some clothes and have her join us?
You know what? That's
I think that is so contrary to her character that she would rather die.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, fair attempt though.
I mean, her defining trait in mythology above board is I cannot be seen no matter what. It's like her driving thing, her most obsessive compulsion. She would rather die than buddy up with people who have seen her.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. I was thinking maybe, I don't know, something on the lines of don't ever. I don't know, that's too much to ask. Not to attack anyone again,
Ooh.
or not to Like, if you don't want, like, fine, you don't want your face to be seen, fair enough. Just don't go there. Like, just don't do your thing.
Hide in a cave
Play
somewhere.
in the woods, yeah.
Her second defining trait after not being seen is that she really enjoys, for lack of a better word, parties. So, out of the
So she-
question.
Okay.
But, like, because you guys were discussing, she would be willing to leave you guys alone forever. Well, depending on the wording, you guys mentioned not attack you again ever. Sure, she might do other things, either positive or negative, but attacking, yeah, you guys can rule out that.
Just like leave us the fuck alone forever. Would that work?
Sure. But from her perspective, I think she would demand, because she perceives it as like a big personal attack being seen, that you leave her alone forever.
Stalk you and look at you forever.
But you guys, is this acceptable to you guys that she leaves you alone, you leave her alone, or up to you?
For Illona is.
I mean, I guess, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay. So this is like the negotiation above board. What happens in character? I guess probably after Muninn stabs her as well, she probably let out a very loud scream of pain and probably just run first on all fours and then back on her feet in a random direction, I'm assuming. All screaming all the while and saying, "Leave me alone!" in terms of narrative.
She's totally gaslighting us.
Yeah,
To be fair, she genuinely believes that she's in the right.
such a victim complex.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree. Again, this is what I think would happen. But since you guys are the victors, even if it's just a concession, not an utter defeat, do let me know if something else happens narratively, etc.
Yeah,
Besides the fact of her running away.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, Anghel collapses on the ground. It kind of rubs his neck, I guess. You know.
I mean, specifically what happens regarding this encounter and your interactions with her.
With her. Before she runs or after? Like as she runs?
Before, while, after, anything. You guys are the victors, you guys decide. Obviously, it can also be nothing. Do let me know.
I guess like after she asked us to leave her alone, Illona would be like, leave us alone. What the fuck?
yeah.
She screams all the while. You can hear her just crying as she runs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
She will run away. Let me roll which direction she runs away. I'll roll a d12 like the arms on the clock and see in which direction she goes. That is okay. She runs away to the east. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's like the opposite from us. So thank God for that.
Sure. I say it's interesting because I have some stuff in mind that's happening east, so that'll be interesting throwing her in.
Ooh, nice. Very interesting.
She runs, and yeah, you guys have emerged victorious.
Oh my God, that was a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
What a team.
I guess like now we just tend to Anghel. Make sure it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
is
that's what I
Anghel
had
the
in
only
mind.
one? Oh,
Illona got elbowed in the eye. She's not okay. Anghel, you feel like your throat's in the worst pain you've ever felt.
yeah.
Ouch.
A good thing he doesn't need, like, doesn't use his voice. So
Sure.
this was
She crushes you. She crushes your windpipe. Well, good thing I don't speak. I guess. Just joking. That's not what happened. She hasn't inflicted that much damage, but you guys definitely see like that. Anghel will have very painful bruises for a while on his neck.
yeah, damn. Okay.
Um,
Uh,
so I mean, are we all tending to Anghel?
The floor is yours.
Okay.
I mean, do we have, like,
I
what
feel
can
like,
you do about bruises, though?
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, narratively, we could probably do something, but like gameplay wise, not a lot for now.
Yeah, it goes away after next session, something?
After the end of this session, provided you have a chance to rest.
Okay.
But yeah, what I'm giving you guys the floor, 90% for narrative. If that
Yeah,
makes
sure.
sense.
Mhm.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Ilona would like rip a piece of her mantle or shirt and like wrap it like a pirate thing around her eye.
Oof, ouch. I feel like relatively unscathed, Muninn would feel a little bit like guilty, and because I mean, you two like definitely like took a beating. No offense. So Muninn would like try their best to tend to both of you, not just Anghel. But obviously, because Illona has like a black eye, like I mean, there's not a lot Muninn can do about that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with Anghel, honestly. What can you... I mean, I don't know. Do we have anything to put on it? I don't know. Like...
Moninn's the only one I can realistically see having medical supplies, but the medical treatment in this era for a black eye is sleep it off.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So we just like go back to sleep under the tree again.
Yeah. Is there any like kind of excuse me, is there any kind of like very far-fetched like painkiller kind of like herbs or something in that Muninn might have?
That Muninn might have.
Or Muninn's horse? Very, very unlikely.
Not impossible. Can you roll me a careful?
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite enough.
That's fair enough.
But maybe you can find them nearby. I leave it up to you, Dely, if Muninn, how interested Muninn is in botany and medicine. Like I think we've sort of established that their main interests are like history and geography more so. But obviously, scholars of the era tend to be very specialized in lots of fields.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I leave it up to you how interested Muninn would be in, again, botany or medicine to see if we just can justify it.
That makes sense. For narrative purposes, I feel like Muninn wouldn't necessarily be too interested in medicine, but like, it's not exactly they would like. They would be like. They'd probably have like a surface level understanding of like basic like medicine but not too like literally not like surface level is generous.
Sure. Can you give me a clever to see if you'd be able to correctly identify the appropriate herbs to give Anghel and Illona?
Yeah, of course. Ooh, nice.
Okay, you think you would be able to identify it, but you do know that it takes a very careful and trained eye to properly differentiate.
Yeah, so it'd be a risk, definitely.
Yes, but you feel at least confident that you won't give them poison.
Okay, that's good enough.
If you'd like Muninn to spend some time like scavenging around the area for possible herbs, we can do that. I leave it up to you.
Yeah, that might be good. I mean, I feel like that would be a good way to make Muninn useful, not Muninn useful.
So sure, give me a careful.
Okay.
You will not be able to find it, but what happens in narrative? How does Muninn like justify BRB gonna look for plants?
Muninn narratively would notice, obviously, Anghel's and Illona's physical ailments. They'd probably say something like, "Oh, wait here. I think I might be able to like give you something to help you with that." And they would like look around, and they'd like unsuccessfully, obviously, find, or not find rather, herbs that can help, and they just say, "Oh, like, I'm sorry, like, there's nothing medicinally I can do." Like, obviously, that's not exactly what they would say, but something along those lines. Like, they try to help, but nothing that they can find like could medicinally help.
Understandable.
So yeah, I mean, instead they'd probably like offer like physical help. Like, I mean, if Anghel needed help like standing or something, or like Illona too. But I mean, obviously that's like, I mean, that would happen like on their turns, I imagine.
I mean, we're not doing it in turn order. It's you guys can also like interject over each other. It's freeform at the moment.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that with all this that's happened. I think Angel's I don't know if even to call it anger really, or like just whatever it was with Muninn. I think it's kind of like, you know, receded to the back or something. Like he's super grateful right now. And
let's focus for a bit on interactions on what Anghel and Illona do while Muninn is looking for plants.
Right.
Illona would like sit down and just take a breather and say, like, we really have bad luck with trouble lately.
Yeah, shit. I don't know how Anghel would even reply to that. Like, I don't know. It would just give her like a look of like, yeah, oh my god. Like kind of a very exhausted look, kind of, you know. Yeah. Speaks for itself. I don't know what I just imagine him just like lying there, not wanting to move for a while. It's kind of funny. I just kind of thought. I mean, I don't know if we ever like if I've ever really brought it up, the fact that, you know, Anghel is also kind of injured in one eye, but it's like permanent, yeah, more or less for him. But it's funny that they're both kind of like.
We can bond over that.
Which eye is it for you?
The way I sort of envisioned it would be Because probably the yellow would be right-handed, so she probably hit with her right elbow, so probably Illona's right eye, I guess.
Right.
And for Anghel, it's the left.
Hmm?
Is it like visible for Anghel, or is it just like you know it, but it doesn't show?
You can clearly see the scar.
There's a
Okay.
scar, and he doesn't see very good. I think I said blind, actually, so he doesn't see at all from that
Wow.
eye. Yeah, it never actually came off.
Yep. I guess we would like compare eyesights, and now we're like we would have perfect vision together combined.
With a whole lot of, with a big lack of depth perception. Yeah. Welcome back, Deli. They were comparing eye injuries.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Now that Deli's back, as Anghel and Illona, you guys compare your injuries, and Muninn comes back saying that they were unable to find any herbs. All of you will suddenly hear, the noise is very recognizable, a gunshot. And
Wow.
what sounds like almost as if the bullet hit something metallic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what direction?
So, like, it rebounded, probably?
Yeah. To
Okay.
answer your question, Ashen, from the direction of Basil and the Boyar.
Oh! Are they
Illona
trying to
was
shoot
there.
the orb? What are they trying to shoot?
What? Oh no!
They better not.
I think Illona would run there.
I think Anghel will, like, kind of, line up, like, kind of heavily, but yeah, force himself there.
What about Muninn?
As in what is Muninn would look to where the sound is coming from very
Again,
quickly.
again from Basil and the Boyar.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they would do. They probably wouldn't do anything. They just like look, and that's it.
Sure. Then Illona will get there first, and yeah, you see a lot of smoke because guns emanate a lot of smoke when fired, and yeah, you can clearly see the orb. Its glow slowly diminishing, and Basil, the orb is on the ground. Basil having aimed a pistol at it.
Oh my god!
I mean, I
That's
imagine
really
nothing
cool.
happened to it. Like,
Ilona,
I guess we'll have
Ilona,
to
you can
check.
give me a careful to see what you can see.
I'm in shock right now. What? No.
You're blinded by a
shocked.
shock.
Oh yeah, and actually blind in one eye.
I told you we need. Told you I needed your help. This blasted thing kept glowing and glowing. I thought it was going to explode. It's
Oh, well.
the glow is going away, but you fucked up, boy, says the boyar. What? And he looks at you sheepishly, Illona, like genuinely confused.
Illona would like be so torn between emotions right now. There's like so much to think about, an entire skeleton army, like everything that's happened, and she would just like stare in like utter disbelief.
I guess,
Yeah, Anghel, you can come to the scene if you'd like.
yeah, I guess he's just kind of. I was just going to say that he comes up there as well, kind of.
You're also able to tell what happened because gunshot smoke takes a while to go away, and you see Basil pointing the pistol at the orb on the ground.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe Anghel would slowly kind of approach the orb, maybe to. I don't know, to see that it's not damaged or something.
Okay, can you give me a careful, just to like check it at least as you're approaching? hard to tell. Seems fine.
Ooh. Oh yeah, she is running away as well. Maybe that's why it's like not glowing.
Yeah.
The glow is diminishing. Yes.
Yeah, because she's running away. Oh, you thought it was damaged?
Yeah, I'm so relieved.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
to be fair, it is a pistol, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe it did do something. We can tell. Anyway, Anghel can tell for now. Maybe he can kind of pass the orb to Illona if she wants to take a look. Try for herself.
Yeah.
Basil says, "What is that damn thing anyway? Is it a bomb?"
What did we explain?
It was
Look
like-
at it.
Basil, here when we talked with the boy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
He was, but you didn't really say anything about it. Like anything about the orb other than we can maybe talk about it later.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I would say like a bomb. Are you stupid?
I don't know. What is it?
If it's a bomb, you shoot it. That is stupid.
But he was a few paces away from it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But if it's like a big glowing bomb, maybe it's a big explodey.
Is it a star falling from the sky?
Actually, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, right. That's a good.
That's
We
the,
could go with that.
That's the dumbest thing I think you've ever said, boy. He's wrong, right?
Actually, that's like the closest thing to describing it that we've gotten so far, I think.
Very metaphorical way of describing it, I guess.
Yeah, but it's something though. It's something concrete that we can tell people. Maybe like weird as hell, but not as weird as what it really is. Maybe.
Muninn above board. If Muninn were here to hear this explanation, they would think it's stupid because stars are like the sun; they're just farther away. Muninn would know that.
Oh, that's very smart.
Okay. Stars are meaning that they're burning, basically.
Yeah.
Sure. They're the sun just farther away, like other suns just farther away. But Anghel and probably Illona wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just sounded like a good excuse.
Sure. I'm just saying that if Muninn hears it, their first reaction would probably be like, "That's incredibly stupid."
That's pretty smart of Muninn.
Good thing they're not here then.
I think Muninn. I mean, if this isn't like intruding on anyone's turn, Muninn probably would have caught up by now.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, you were kind of left alone. I imagine Muninn would head to rejoin the others.
Yeah, but
You
They
you see the gunshot smoke, but you're not sure what happened because the orb is in Illona's hands.
sure, that makes sense.
As he like comes by, I think Illona would notice that and say that he shot the orb.
Muninn would like be bewildered, and they'd ask like, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Like to
What is that damn thing? Is it something demonic? What is it?
regardless of what it is, if it's alright to speak, regardless of what it is, your first instinct is to shoot it. Are you mad?
It was glowing so brightly I thought it was a second sun. I thought it was going to explode.
That's ridiculous, first of all. And second of all, if it was to explode, your first instinct, again, is to shoot it?
Well then what is it? Tell us already.
I don't think you're capable of like understanding what this is, let alone if you try to shoot it. No.
I think he'd aim his gun at you, Illona.
Oh my god.
Listen, if whatever this is puts my father's life in danger, or if you endanger anything or anyone else with it,
That escalated fast. Wow.
if Muninn, if it's all right for Muninn to talk,
It's
They would
alright.
say,
It's
like-
always alright.
yeah, cool. They would say like, what are you doing? Like, put your gun down. This doesn't endanger you or your father.
Boy, don't point your gun at people if you haven't reloaded it yet, moron.
Like, Illona would be so just fed up with constantly having to deal with, like, danger and people trying to kill them. She would just, like, sigh and look very, like, come on.
Basil looks embarrassed, having realized that the gun he was pointing at Illona is not loaded, and instead throws the gun aside and draws his sword.
My God.
Illona face palms.
Explain yourselves now. Perhaps a bit of calm is in order, boy. But father, sit down. Explain, please, says the boyar.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, if we told him that we're going to talk about this later, then
I guess
then-
That is what
Yeah.
you said, yes.
later it could be now. If that's
yeah,
what
it feels
they're
like it should be now. Like
implying. Yeah.
that's what they're expecting. Especially in Greek mode.
I guess we could, like, say, while you were busy looking at the glowing orb, the thing it actually reacted to nearly killed us over there, and, like, pointing to their injuries. That's just a suggestion. We don't have to say that.
Yeah,
No,
they
it's-
didn't like. Did they notice? I mean, I imagine they noticed.
Your
Illona has
your
big
injuries? Would they would
Or
not
at least
they-
maybe the
they probably would not have noticed Angel's, because
Yeah.
I don't think they're looking at Angel's neck.
but the patch.
I'll
on
roll
the-
Basil's careful to see if he notices Ilona's injury.
like because she has a patch on. I feel it's like kind of noticeable.
Well, I guess, yeah. With that roll, I think he probably notices subconsciously, because it is pretty obvious, but he's more focused on what he perceives to be the immediate danger.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I guess they can always just assume that they fought amongst themselves. I don't know. So what do we do?
Well, what Ashen said, that's a pretty good thing to say, I think. So, like, someone could say along the lines of something along the lines of, as orb close to, like, acts to certain kinds of activity, and any activity that it was like reacting to, you decided to like not help us with. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the
What's
like-
that even supposed to mean? What activity?
Muninn would say, there was a. Oh, I don't know how much Muninn knows though.
Muninn just knows it's a scantily clad woman who tried to attack Anghel and was very insistent upon not being seen.
Okay. So Muninn would say, like over there, like they would point to where they were like fighting the woman. They would say like over there was a lady like dressed like rather unmodestly, but insists like, you know, as you say, like Teeironor, like they insisted not to be seen. And no thanks to you two, we managed to like save Anghel because she was determined to like see him dead.
Give me a flashy, but I'll require a critical success because you sound like a lunatic.
Fair
It sounds a bit like a perm, just.
That's not a
Okay.
critical. That's not a critical success, unfortunately. And above board, the creature you fought, the Yella, is not part of their mythology, so they have no idea what that means.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I was thinking if Anghel should like point at his neck or something as Muninn is talking, but I don't
I
know.
think,
I mean, that doesn't really prove anything.
yeah. As far as like if you were trying to like provide an assist, I think that's too late for this turn as well.
Just to make it, I don't know.
Too late for now, but you can do it later.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Exactly.
I didn't think of
no,
it that way, but I guess yeah.
Yeah. No, you're cool.
Father, I think we should destroy that and turn them into the constables. Boy, you really think you can take all 3 of them on? I'll bloody well try.
I mean, he couldn't shoot it. How does he plan to destroy it? Exactly.
Destroy us, I think.
Feel free to, this is a free check, feel free to give me carefuls to like take a look, like is Basil physically capable or is he just bluffing, if that makes sense.
Whoa.
Nice
Okay.
roll, dude.
Okay.
Okay, I don't need to roll then.
Muninn, with your critical success, I can tell you 2 of Basil's stats that you can choose.
Okay.
Oh,
As in two of his aspects?
Approaches.
Or two. Okay. How about Basil's? As far as like destroying something, forceful might be something, and maybe careful would be.
You do already know his careful. He rolled it earlier. It's a 4.
Oh, right. Okay. So maybe forceful and quick.
He has a forceful of 5 and a quick of 6.
Oh, those are quite high.
oh, 5, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. So try not to outrun him, or like out something him as far as like speed. Okay. Well.
Also, before the conversation has been taking place, at least on their end in Romy, so Anghel's a bit out of the loop.
Yeah.
No.
Again.
Oh, Anghel. Maybe Muninn would try and like translate for Anghel's sake, like as briefly as they can, for like not to keep Anghel out the loop, but like to make sure that like Muninn doesn't. It makes sense in my head. Like Anghel, well, Muninn tries to like spare Anghel the details, but give Anghel like the necessary like gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
Perfectly permissible.
Okay. As far as the boyar's son, Muninn, if no one else was to speak, Muninn would say to the boyar's son, like, if you think like shooting at the orb would, if you think you can shoot at the thing, and it's still like intact, then how do you expect to like destroy it?
You see him hesitate, and he says, I'll find a way, just you tell me how to destroy it.
You're not going to you're not going to destroy it, boy. Like,
Then tell us what it is. Why should it still exist? What is it? If it's not a bomb, then what is it?
It's an age-old vessel to reach people who, not people, but like entities who surpassed us since way before. And it won't help to shoot it, to bury it, to burn it, anything.
Like the woman who spoke in my head, says the boyar.
Exactly.
Basil lowers his sword and says, who are these entities?
I mean, they will speak to you if they want you to know them.
He looks at his father, and his father shrugs. And he turns back and says, "All right. Can you continue? What do you know? What do they want? Are they good entities? Are they bad entities?"
Like, she would shake her head and be like, the world isn't that simple. Good and bad.
Well, what do they want with us then? Why do you have that?
If Muninn would talk, if Muninn were to talk, they would say,
Welcome back.
welcome back. If Muninn were to talk, they would say, well, as far as you're concerned, this orb is merely, as my friend said, it's merely a vessel. And for all intents and purposes, it's more or less a compass for anomalous activity. If there are any beings or like creatures that have any kind of supernatural power, the orb will glow as a warning.
He nods slowly. And is that it? How you haven't answered my question of how you obtained it.
We obtained it by, like, chance. Our initial thought was not that we would encounter something like this. We merely, like, did it for gold, but that it turned out to be way bigger. And we don't know much. We don't know more than we told you, basically.
Okay, you've told me why you've acquired it, but not how or where.
Well, we feel that's less important than we feel like where and how is less important to the thing itself. If you must know, like Muninn would say, if you must know, we acquired it in a tomb. But, I mean, again, as my friend has said, whose tomb, the details of which we're more or less unaware.
Basil turns to look at his father. His father has a very pensive expression and says, "Would you be willing to bring it before the council? Above board, the country is ruled by a prince. Under him is the Council of Boyars." That's what he's referring to.
Okay. And why would we do that?
This thing seems to be of importance, whatever these entities may be. Seems to be of state importance. I really think that woman who spoke to me wasn't lying when it said that it could potentially change the world.
Illona would try to maybe not conceal the truth, but, like, these entities, like, presents obstacles in our paths when we do not follow their wishes. So I think going in a direction like that without the permission of the entities would be a risk.
"You have my permission," says a woman's voice in your mind.
Shut up.
The boy also looks like startled and says, "The woman spoke to me again."
Yep. I don't know. It really worked.
Like, I wonder at this point if we really even need to keep like anything a secret at this, because we were wondering what we were going to do about the army of skeletons, right?
Yeah.
So maybe telling the, I don't know, the council
Yeah.
about it will be.
It might not be too terrible.
I mean, I don't know. Like, we can't really trust all of them. I don't know. We don't know them.
Just above board, I'm assuming that while this was happening, someone, either Illona or Muninn, would have been translating for Anghel's benefit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. I mean, from Angel's point of view, I don't know. I think he's nervous about the whole thing, but I mean, I guess as like we're already kind of telling the truth without, we're just. It just feels like we're barely keeping things, hidden. But I don't know for what purpose at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we may as well just let him in on it, because he is more or less in on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, where do we begin? I guess the first thing to tell him would be whose orb is it in the first place. I guess. I mean, would it not be? I don't know.
Also above board, you don't have to RP every word you say. You can just say, okay, we tell him about this, and this, just to sum it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe Hugh, if you'd like, he can start with a question that you can then answer and then go into further explanations.
Sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
You said you found this because you were promised to be paid. Who did that?
What was his name again? The cartographer?
Yeah, but I don't remember his name.
Did you know his name? Yeah, I guess you did. Well, I'll type it in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also need me to remind you of his title, or?
He was a court geographer or something.
Yep.
A court geographer
for the Duke of Veneto.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. It was so long ago. Okay.
I don't know if we should dox him basically, but just tell it.
I mean, for all you know, this guy's dead.
Dox him.
Maybe he isn't, but last you saw him, it wasn't looking good.
Illona will hold back on the identity.
So how would you answer his question?
His title, I guess. And that we just ran.
Illona, you would know that giving out his title is pretty much as bad as saying his name. It's probably worse, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Maybe just a guy called Julius then. This guy, Julius.
Is that what you say?
I guess, yeah.
Give me a sneaky, please.
Come on.
Tie on and overcome means either you fail or you succeed at a negative cost.
I'll take the negative cost.
Okay. How about you successfully conceal that fact, but you probably accidentally say another bit of information that's somewhat incriminating. Like say, I don't know. And no, he wasn't interested in the books that Muninn has, or something like that.
No.
Oh my god.
Not my books.
That's bad.
That is very negative.
But like he ran away before Muninn obtained the books as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just an example. It's the first thing that came to my mind. Maybe you'll say he definitely didn't predict that it would unleash an undead army or something like that.
That's pretty good, because I mean, if like, the geography of the world changed after that, right? So if anyone, if this boyar heard something happening south, was it? I mean, assuming that it was south, obviously.
South,
if he had,
heading southeast, but yeah.
Yeah. If he heard something along those lines of that happening, he'd be like, "Oh, it was you then." Well, not necessarily us, but like we had a hand in it.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
It's just
That's
super
fine.
bizarre to suddenly talk about all of this. Like,
Sort of a TLDR, neither of them would know what undead army you're talking about, but you've definitely bewildered them with that mention. And they would ask you to go into detail about that.
I mean, would it hurt to go into detail about that? Just be like, there was an undead army underneath this city, and they're waiting to be let out. Or we don't have to tell them that part, but there was an undead army in this city that were coveting this orb.
He would ask what city. If that's what you say.
Yeah.
Above board, it wasn't a city. Like it was, like ancient ruins of an ancient military camp.
Sure. Is that what we say?
I don't know.
like I'm just trying to understand what. Like, okay, no, it makes sense to keep it hidden because it's a lot of. Yeah, I don't know.
We can also say like, yeah, it's not a problem for now. We dealt with it.
Yeah.
Would require another sneaky roll.
But it's not a problem for now. It's like we have
But you have not dealt with it.
Yeah.
You just run away.
we're dealing with it. I don't know. Sounds worse. I guess sneaky is good with that, or
Sure.
are you guys okay with it?
Well, you guys decide if you would like to lie to him.
Is that okay by you?
Yeah, I mean, as if you're asking us, then yeah, I mean, it's okay by me. Like, not telling, at the very least, we're not telling them the whole truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like scary not to keep this hidden. Like, I don't really know what he would do with this knowledge, but
Yeah, I mean,
at
yeah.
the same
I
time,
guess,
I don't know what we're doing with this knowledge.
yeah, exactly. It's probably like good to tell someone, right?
What?
Although maybe it wouldn't be.
Like, it
yeah,
really
I don't know
works.
how they would react, like the boys, even him. Or they-
Yeah. And like, it worries me that Nictelius of all people is talking to him. It's not exactly.
To be fair, she's only said two things. as far as you know.
Could be an option just to kill him as well. I don't know.
You know too much. I think we should. I think we should tell him. Like, if we don't tell him, who are we going to tell? You know.
Nobody.
Yeah, I kind of assumed we were going to somehow find a way to deal with this, you know. But yeah,
it's
not very likely, possibly.
Yeah, the thing is like, at least, I don't know, maybe I'm brain dead, but like I feel like we, as like Muninn, Anghel, and Illona haven't really done a lot about the undead army. So like,
pretty much.
We're dealing with it, okay?
Yeah. But then that's the thing. Maybe it would be good to like tell someone, someone in a position of power.
Yeah, I just wish it was someone that we could trust for sure. But I guess there's no such thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. If it's any consolation, like this boy, was very willing not to steal from us.
Bro,
So that's that's something. Like if the boy was like really like like fully like about to steal the orb from us like last session, then I'd have a different opinion from him, but he willingly gave it up.
Right.
So
go for it if you wanna. Illona would not oppose.
Okay. What about you, Show&Tell?
I think. Like, I think in character, I think Anghel would not like this.
Oh yeah, in character, it's not ideal, sure.
But above board, I think I don't know. Like, I don't know what other option we really have except for like lie and I don't know. And we come up with the weirdest lies, and it doesn't really work with him. Like, he keeps asking questions.
Exactly. So we may as well tell the truth.
I just wonder, I don't know. As far as Nictelius is concerned, she seems to want this, I don't know, like involving other people, and I wonder what her motive is, you know?
I think she just likes chaos.
Yeah.
True, that's true.
We love a bit of chaos.
So she just wants... Okay.
Well, if it's all right with everyone, maybe Muninn or someone could kind of like spill the beans and like just explain.
Anghel will tell us.
Anghel will do it. So eloquent, Anghel. Like, wow.
Because you said anyone. Me or anyone or anything.
If Anghel wants to,
I'll take that. Okay.
You can go ahead with it. I don't think.
Okay. Well, yeah. In that case, Muninn would spill the beans and just come clean.
In their entirety about the undead?
Yeah, probably. Maybe not about how urgent. Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe they should just spill the beans completely.
Okay.
Should it be a complete bean spill, or should it just asking you to like Show&Tell and Anghel? I nearly called. Oh no, I did it. Show&Tell and Anghel. No, Show&Tell and Ashen.
I say, whatever feels right for Muninn, just say it. It's fine.
Okay.
If Illona is like really like not digging it, she will interrupt.
Okay. Well, Muninn would spill the beans, but they wouldn't mention about. Maybe they wouldn't mention about the gold that they found in the sheer amount of riches that they found in the underground place.
Just for the sake of completeness, would you mention how the undead like treated Illona and Anghel as like not quite one of their own, but close enough. In contrast with how they treated Muninn.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why Muninn would leave that out.
And you mentioned the 2-week deadline.
Yes.
Okay. The boyar would say, like, you can clearly tell, in spite of his deformed face, that he has a very troubled expression as he says, it takes months to gather an army. How do you think you'll oppose those undead, their rampage? How do you think they won't just destroy the entire countryside before they're stopped?
What do you really think?
Good question.
Not our
Muninn would
problem.
say, yeah.
I mean, it
Muninn-
kind of is Angel's problem a little. Although he
Yeah.
did lose all of his farm at this point, so maybe he doesn't care anymore.
I mean, if you care at least a little about the people from your village.
Yeah, I feel like you would. I
feel like if it's alright with everyone, Muninn might say something like, these undead are of like abnormal like influence or origin, so an abnormal influence or like method could, like, unconventional methods would be able to fight this army rather than like sheer force. So like magic,
how?
basically.
Do you say magic?
Maybe not magic, but like what would be another way to phrase magic? Yeah, it's like power, like not power of the gods, but like, I mean, influence of the divine, maybe.
So you're suggesting that we ask these entities for help in dealing with the undead?
Yeah, they're undead. How do you plan to kill them? Illona would like chime in with that.
If they're so buddy-buddy with you two, pointing at Illona and Anghel, why don't you go talk them down or something?
We tried that, didn't we? Did we try that? I don't know.
Above board, it was like a lot of bewilderment, not necessarily talking down, and they basically those undead basically believe that they're surrounded by enemies, and you guys went to get help, and if you don't return in 2 weeks' time, all right, we're gonna cut our way out.
Yes.
Right?
But they also didn't believe that we were not their grandchildren and stuff.
I mean, the undead commander lady did believe that Illona and Anghel are probably her distant descendants, like very distant.
Okay. Right.
I mean, I feel like we tried something. I don't know. We tried talking. Like maybe it was very half-hearted or whatever at the time. But I do feel like the 2-week whatever was like, okay, let's settle for that. I don't know. I guess it wasn't that easy to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could like exaggerate. It's not really the reason we're going, like that we're looking for stuff to deal with them with, like I don't know, people who know more about this, or just in general more information to like bring to them so they believe us. But like we could say that we are on a quest for that, and then we go back. That's like our main thing, even though it's not really.
So that's why you were so secretive, because you wanted to tell people to ask for help by not telling people.
Well, tell the wrong people and you're not
I'm one of the most important people in this country. Who else do you think could help you?
Well, we had to test the waters first. Sorry.
Like, in the wrong hands, the orb can make great damage. And you being the most powerful person is like...
From my perspective, you three are the wrong hands so far. If you've set an army of ancient undead on a rampage.
They're not on a rampage yet. They're staying
They
put.
didn't do it, though. They came to conclusions on their own. Like, I think we were trying to dissuade them or something. I don't remember, but okay.
And you failed at that.
Yeah, I don't know who actually said that, though, if anybody said that.
I would guess that in your explanation of, like, telling them about the undead, you maybe would have mentioned your half-hearted attempts to dissuade them.
Maybe we, like, add a bit of extra spice there and we're, like, really not half-hard, just, like, full-hard.
You really try.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, it was... Okay, fine. Fair enough. I guess he has a point, though, too. Like, whatever.
We could say we're going for the prince. Because...
Right,
the prince is
oh,
power.
right. Yeah.
Then I suppose we'd best hurry.
Yeah. Great.
Luckily enough, the prince is getting married soon, so all the important nobles will be there. So we should be able to come to a decision quickly enough. Should be enough time, at the very least, to send a rider all the way back to discuss with the undead, or if there's some other solution that can be found with the orb itself, I'm sure all the bright minds of the princedom can find a solution.
Right.
So, fewer breaks, we're going full speed, I'm assuming.
Oh, wow, okay. We need a break.
Yeah,
We'll need a break and then next time.
time is of the essence, but we probably should take a break to rest off these battle wounds.
We could also split up. That they go and we stay closer with the orb. Not that they would trust us specifically, I guess. But like,
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Like, we were really sneaky and weird about it.
Do let me know if you suggest that or not.
not yet. We'll think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Hey, or maybe we just won't rest for a while and hope that nobody. No, how long is it? How long until we get to the prince? We said like a week or something in game time.
In game time, about a week at like normal travel speed. If you're rushing, probably closer to 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
But the Eurometa situation is kind of worrying at that because I think he will delay it a bit, potentially.
Possibly. Yeah, it's hard that we kind of put. I mean, I guess Anghel kind of put the gods at odds with each other, kind of. So, yeah, Eurometa is basically causing trouble and whatever. I don't know. And like, honestly, I don't know what the other two are doing, really. But
Yeah.
well, I mean, well, there's nothing much we can do about it. We just need to face it when it happens, I guess. Be prepared as much as possible.
Foregoing rest will definitely have gameplay consequences.
For what? For going. Yeah. Okay, that would be bad.
I mean, I feel like if Anghel and maybe forgive me if obviously I'm rehashing what everyone said. If Anghel and Illona, like that, you two definitely need the rest. So if you two wanted to like, I mean, someone suggested like splitting up. If you two wanted to like rest while Muninn travels with the boyar and his son, then that could work. Because, I mean, Muninn doesn't have any consequence or stress, so they're
Fine.
like ready. They're like ready to go, like depending, like regardless of whatever happens.
All right. I just
And
hope they don't attack you.
Yeah, I hope not to. I was gonna say, oh, and Muninn has the orb too, but apparently Illona has it, so I mean, ignore that.
Last, because of the like confrontation, it switched hands to Illona, but obviously you guys can hand it off among yourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This isn't like meant to sway you. This is just a piece of information that I already mentioned above board. Muninn, you will not be able to have your like dreams of reading ancient books unless you have the orb.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That would definitely encourage Muninn to have the orb. Although if they have it, it's not that I don't trust the boyar and his son, but like maybe strength in numbers, maybe Anghel and Illona should like hold on to it. Because Muninn would be like on their own, I guess. With the boyar and his son. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. I'm just because we thought about, I don't know, staying with the orb and then continue, but I think it will be kind of a little bit of the same problem.
Right.
Because they probably want someone with the orb to stay behind.
Right.
I will say, based on some earlier, like 20 sessions earlier piece of information, I think it was Muninn or Illona give me a clever roll? Either or. Just so if there's a piece of information I can give you based on that roll.
Yeah, sure.
Not for me.
Head empty, Illona. Muninn, you remember like from your encounter with the Mother of the Forest, because you guys were speculating a bunch on the nature of the orb, etc., and on the nature of magic itself, ancient magic specifically. You would come to the theory that, yeah, sure, the orb acts as a warning device, but supernatural stuff is also more likely to happen to the people who are carrying the orb.
Okay. So leaving alone. So for me, that means obviously I'm free to speculate. For me, that means leaving Illona and Anghel on their own with the orb would increase the likelihood that they would be attacked by something supernatural.
This isn't to say that supernatural stuff cannot happen, like, unless you have the orb, because, like, the Water Witch and the Ogre happened while you guys weren't nearby, just as an example. Yeah. It's just that it's way more likely to the people who have it.
Okay. Maybe... How about this? How about Muninn takes the orb? Here's my dastardly plan. How about Muninn takes the orb and what? Muninn takes the orb and then, but they don't take it. They take it in a way where like the boyar and his son don't necessarily see it. Like, I obviously I assume that sort of thing would require sneaky
Very
But-
much so.
Yeah, but then again, I don't personally think I don't personally distrust the boy and his son, but it might still be worth like keeping it safeguarded, if you know what I mean, by even if theoretically by Anghel and Illona. Like on paper, like if the boy and his son think, oh, Muninn doesn't have the orb, so there's no point trying to steal it from them. I don't think the boy and his son would do that or try to do that, but like, I mean, you never know.
It's hard. I think it would be fair to try to, like...
Okay. All right, cool. Let's do it.
So what's the plan?
So, I mean, correct me if I'm mistaken. So, Illona and Anghel are going to stay behind to rest, while Muninn, the boy and his son, travel to wherever it is. And Muninn will take the orb from Illona, but they'll do it in a way, hopefully, that makes it seem like Illona still has the orb. So, like, they'll try and conceal the exchange from the boy and his son.
I didn't catch that. Sorry, my brain went like... dumb moment. That's cool.
Sorry.
The concealing part. I thought you were just gonna have it. I didn't actually...
Right. Yeah. Muninn will have it, but they'll make it seem like Illona and Anghel still have it.
If this... Go ahead.
If this is... Yeah, like Teeironor said, or I assume this is what you're about to say, if this is what our plan is.
Well, first of all, if this will happen, I would require a sneaky roll with opposed by the boyars careful.
Yeah.
But it will also glow if there was something you encountered later.
That's true. But, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Honestly, it would be fine if for me if you had it and they knew about it. If like you have your horse, right, and you could, if something happens, you could like,
Yeah.
oh shit, he's quick. The Basil guy, but like, maybe it works. You could like right away.
Well, for the sleight of hand, who is rolling sneaky, Illona or Muninn?
Illona would definitely have a better roll, as far as like averages. So maybe Illona, if you're interested.
Sure.
Then give me a sneaky.
It's not too good, but sufficient.
Good enough.
You succeed. And when you say your plan, the boyar would insist that the orb has to come to the capital, to St. Paris, otherwise the council won't know what the hell you're talking about.
Damn,
And
all that
and
discussion.
and if the orb is part of the solution, of course it has to come to the capital.
Okay. Muninn would say maybe. I mean, if that's the right one, Muninn would say, well, how do we know as soon as we reach the capital that the orb won't be taken from us?
You
I'm
don't.
sorry.
You
I
don't.
just have to say, like, I imagine this, like, Muninn talking while having the orb, like, tucked underneath his shirt, like, like he's pregnant or something. Like, super obvious. Sorry, yeah.
The boyars would say, you don't, but I consider it imperative. If this thing is part of the part of the solution, then having to wait an extra day, even an extra hour for you two to alive, pointing at Illona and Anghel, simply will not do.
Well, as far as we're concerned, as far as we're concerned, the orb is ours to protect. And if
If it is a danger to the entire country, I respectfully disagree.
with all, actually, I don't know if Muninn can say that, but with all due respect, if this thing is a danger to the entire country, how come you've never heard of it before?
Apparently because it is the first time that 3 people were dumb enough to venture into a tomb and find it.
Should we just kill him?
I wonder if a session will pass where Ashen doesn't say, should we just kill him?
That's very true.
Well, Muninn might say, well, as long as I have, I mean, the orb can come with us, as us meeting like the 3, like Muninn, etc. The orb can come with us as long as I have your word that it will not be misused or stolen.
How do you define misuse? And stolen by whom? I don't have control over the bandits of the forest.
Well, surely not the bandits of the forest, but I mean, you surely have some influence over who we're about to heed audience with. I mean...
Perhaps, but if they were to ask for the orb, it wouldn't be stealing.
But it would be... I mean... But it would have to be kept under strict surveillance.
Obviously.
By whoever, by whoever takes it.
Obviously.
Well, Muninn then would look to Anghel and Illona to see should we just own up and be like, okay, let's just take the orb. With Muninn should Muninn just take the orb with them, with Boyar and the Sun? They were gonna do that anyway, but just be like, okay, I've got it.
So sorry, I'm totally spacing out. But why did we not want that to begin with? Because it's dangerous?
I think the main concern was that someone could turn around and just take the orb for themselves. An unlikely scenario from my point of view, but ultimately it's not entirely impossible.
Just because I'm trying to because it's just Muninn or something?
Yeah, because it's just Muninn traveling with them. So if they decided hey, this Muninn person is just some weak bookworm, let's just mug him. But then it's very unlikely that sort of thing would happen anyway. So
for whatever's worth, the Boyar will give you his word that he and his son specifically will not attempt to mug you, for what it's worth.
Okay. Well,
as to whether you trust that word, that is entirely up to you.
Yeah, exactly. As Muninn's character would go, they would out of character. Sure, I'm totally okay with this happening, but Muninn's character would be less inclined to just be okay, we've got the orb, let's go. But they wouldn't exactly never it wouldn't be an impossible choice for them to make, if that makes sense.
The thing is, I think Illona is a bit afraid to take it to such a big scale. Like, what happens there with people who are already, like, sort of corrupted by power is a risk to Illona. But,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a real concern for sure.
I don't know what we would do differently. Like, try to manage it low-key is not without problem as well, and we have a lot to chew either how at the moment with Anghel and Arcasius and everything. I mean, you're a Medin, but I don't know. Maybe it's a really unexpected turn to how this goes. I could yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean, I guess we just have to... Because otherwise, the plan was to... otherwise, what would we do? Like, just lie to them that the orb is with them?
Actually, this is really... I think it's a good idea. Just to see what the prince and so-and-so would do.
What if it was obvious that Muninn had the orb?
Just for context's sake, the only thing you guys really know about the prince is that apparently, in a fit of rage, he beat a prisoner to death.
Oh.
And that apparently he's a capable military strategist, whatever that may entail on your decision.
Well,
should we just do like this? You guys go, we try to catch up.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, that would make sense.
okay.
I would just hope that, yeah.
And again, the boyar would demand that the orb come with, and so would say to Illona, hand the orb over to Muninn.
Yeah.
It would be funny to go like, wisha wisha, and it just, Muninn takes it out already.
I've got it! Yeah, I feel like that's not too terrible. Maybe, like, narratively, Muninn could say, like, okay, like, I'm gonna bring the orb with me, but my allies are close behind.
Obviously.
Okay.
Your minions.
My minions. Wait, they didn't. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Just to sort of wrap up today's session, if this is the plan and Muninn, the boyar, and the sun would go on ahead, the boyar would insist that you guys circumvent the slave village. Anghel and Illona, you can do whatever. Muninn, would you agree with his decision?
Yeah. Well, so avoid it.
Yeah, like, not travel through it, just continue in the open ground until you rejoin the road. And Anghel and Illona, while you take a chance to rest. Let's perhaps end the session by, say, unveiling the next map over.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that
Sure.
exciting. It's not that exciting, but yeah.
We have the right to be excited.
Sure. Give me a second, please. Yeah, I hoped that we could end the session like after you guys have reached a decision. I didn't want to stop like mid-sentence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, this is the map. I'll make it bigger in a little bit. Give me a second, please.
Oh, very nice.
Well, there is a river, so there's always potential for geographical changes.
Sure, but
Yeah.
fortunately the river doesn't follow the road. Not that closely.
Yay. Like, honestly, what I am scared of is that without Muninn, we'll have to face things. Like, oh, and Muninn is with the orb. Yeah, that would be... possibly a danger
I suppose we will see.
to face things. Okay.
So I think it's a good spot to end today's session. Sorry for keeping you guys a bit longer than usual, but I thought it would have been better to reach a decision before ending.
Yeah, no worries. I totally forgot about time. That was awesome.
Okay. Thoughts on today's session?
Yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun. It was interesting. Like, from at least I feel like it was interesting to finally spill the beans about
definitely was.
about the skeletons, because we haven't really
It's like-
mentioned.
Yeah, we haven't talked about anything. We were like, I mean, it's automatic. Like, it's natural that we would try to hide it, I think.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it was suddenly like, okay, why are we hiding it? Maybe it's time to not hide it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, because the guy was so persistent also. That made it really hard to just...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
lying.
I feel like if it wasn't for that, we would have like kept it.
We would, yeah.
Yeah, we
exactly.
couldn't. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm glad that it's out in the open now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, yeah, it's changed things.
Oh, definitely,
completely.
definitely. This might have been your most, if not most, at least second most impactful decision on the entire campaign. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Scary stuff.
I really hope we're not going to like just regret. It's so hard later.
I guess we'll know then.
Yeah, we'll find
We'll
out.
cry. We'll...
Okay. This session was very tense. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting much to come out of the like gunshot scene. I thought it was just a way to like sow a little bit more tension between you guys and the boyar and the son. But I'm very glad for the direction it wound up in.
Yeah, it totally broke us.
Yeah.
Sure. Suppose we will see what happens. Good job also during the combat part. You guys did great. The yellow was comparable in stats to the water witch, above board, just sort of like planar in terms of mechanics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we did get a plus whatever something, or the water witch got something.
Yeah, she got a
because
minus.
you already...
Yeah, she got a minus. Yeah.
So you mean without the minus, she was the same as ours?
Without the minus, she would have been comparable to the yellow.
Oh, so the yellow was stronger, basically.
Basically, yeah.
As we face her, yeah.
She's as strong
Makes
as
sense.
the unnerved version.
Yeah.
But obviously, as you guys become stronger, etc., things will also become strong alongside you guys, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sort of debating it, but I think because this was a very big decision on your guys' part, I think it's sufficient grounds to say that you guys have reached a quote-unquote, I think it was major milestone or significant. I think it was significant, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that means that we
You get
update.
you get a point to put wherever you would like.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
And
Shiny.
if you had had any level 6 consequences, they would have gone away. Provided they were for like 2
Oh,
sessions
wow.
more. But yeah.
Wow. So if Anghel, for instance, had a level 6 consequence, it wouldn't have gone away now. It would have gone away next time we hit.
Yes, if it was inflicted by the yellow.
Shit. Oh, okay. Good thing we.
Yeah.
But like, if someone makes use of it, it can be used again, or in a different battle, it can be. Used
Oh yeah,
again?
it can be used again in a different battle and for free by the enemy. It's meant consequences are meant to be
Yeah.
severe impediments for you guys.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so congratulations on leveling up. And yeah, you guys did wonderfully in the actual boss battle, quote-unquote boss battle, improvised boss battle. So good job on that as well. Be sure, please, to update your feeds before we record next time, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Munin's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, and your stress level for consequence, Anghel and Illona will go away because you are taking a rest.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did it.
Okay. Any other thoughts on today's session before we go into our usual shoutout?
Really interesting to see how it goes.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I'm slightly terrified because it means I have to accelerate the production of maps, but sure. Yeah, I'm also very curious how things will go next. I have a lot of thinking to do. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Feel free to say any thoughts while I roll the dice to see in which order I ask you to talk about yourselves, alright? If you have any.
Yeah. Head empty from me, other than like session as usual.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered like the main things.
Yeah.
Sure. Alright. Well, again, dear viewers, thank you for watching and listening to us. Let's see what our players are up to, starting according to the dice with good old Lee. Could you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you're doing, etc., etc.?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. Of course, I've been Dely. Outside of these wonderful sessions, I stream on Twitch. My name is DelyGob and I stream variety. On a really massive like cult of the lamb craze. So if you wanted to join the cult, then feel free to pop in and say hi.
Nice. Very interesting. Dely is a wonderful streamer. Highly recommend. Thank you very much. Next, according to the dice, we would have Show&Tell. Can you please go ahead, talk about yourself, what you're doing, etc., etc.?
Yes, hi, I'm Show&Tell. I have a YouTube channel on which I react to anime. I haven't uploaded in like a week, I think, because I've been recovering, but I hope to get back into it very soon. And I have an Etsy shop, and yeah.
Do check her stuff out. She is lovely, and again, I would highly recommend. I'd highly recommend everyone. I should stop saying that. Thank you again, Show&Tell. Thank you again, Show&Tell. Next, according to the list, would be Ashen. Can you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you are doing?
I'm Ash, and I have an Instagram where I sometimes draw stuff. So if you like, feel free to check me out there.
And she does take art commissions, and they are lovely. I would recommend everyone that's interested to check her out. For reference, she drew Illona and character images again.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, Ashen. And I was your Dungeon Master, Game Master, Teeironor. I do this series, which will certainly take some interesting turns. And I also do another series that's been going on for a longer while, set in the universe, that I would also recommend with a different bunch of lovely people. But, other than that, dear viewers, thank you again for watching and listening to us. We probably be back next week. I'll keep you guys posted. And we will see you then. Goodbye, everybody.